Hi there, welcome to my animation channel. It's Wednesday, which means the dogs are at dog school today. Yay, so I get a bit of peace and quiet, and that gives me always an opportunity to shoot some video. I would usually be shooting on the screen, but I like to get my face in front of you so that you can see who this person is behind the channel here. So if you're new to my channel, I'm James Whitelaw. This is my animation channel. And today I just want to chat to you about two inspirations in my creative life. The first one was Tintin. I've discussed this before. Growing up, I grew up with Tintin, and he really, or the artist Herge, really inspired me to get into a creative field. I remember drawing cartoons when I was 5 or 6, and I've shown a few of them here before. This really stimulated me to tell stories. So this was the very first thing that got my interest in not even animation, in storytelling, and it's finally the reason why I ended up in the field I got into, which was or is illustration. So I've got a lot of Tintin. I've got all his albums, 21 odd, and I've also got a lot of books about him, about Herge, and about the creative process, and I've got a whole bunch more down there. And that's really what inspired me to get into a creative field. I love this stuff, growing up with this stuff. I think I got my first one when I was about 8 or something, or maybe 6. This is one of the oldest ones. You can see it's tatty, and it really is has been around. I mean, I'm 57, and this was printed in 1974, so 51 years old. So it's possible this I got when I was 5 or 6, probably. But it goes so far back that it was actually created. This one was created by Herge in 1947. So, you might have seen the animated movie they made about Tintin, very, very popular, and basically just started by this guy, Herge. I got very close. I went to Brussels twice, and I went to the first time I actually got invited to a launch party it was a 50 years of Herge, or 50 years of Tintin, and Tintin's wife, not Tintin, Herge's wife was there. She's still very much alive. I didn't get to meet her, but she was there. And that's the closest I got to this guy, who was my childhood hero. Yeah, I can talk about this for ages. The second thing that really inspired me later in life to get into animation was Aardman. Aardman Animation is a UK stop motion animation studio, and they started with well, it's basically claymation, but they started with Morph, and Morph was their first character, and it kind of grew from there. Wallace and Gromit is probably the most well-known character, and I think they've made about 5 films, 1 or 2 features. Mainly they were making shorts. And when I say shorts, 30-minute shorts. I think they made 3 or 4 shorts. I'm not sure yes, they did. They made a couple of features as well. Anyway, I've collected a lot of their stuff. I've got a lot of their DVDs and stuff. So this really was an inspiration. And when I started to get back into animation, when I started animation about 27 years ago, and I was messing around with 3D. I was working for some small studios doing 3D building assets and doing basic animation for adverts and stuff, using using 3D Max Studio. I also was buying plasticine, and making little models. And the thing then, and it's changed so much now, but the thing then is that you had to shoot on film. Digital was very, very new and very, very expensive. So it's so accessible now. To be that age now again and start it, I might have followed through, but I stopped because of the cost implications and the practicalities of shooting with film, which is a regret, because I really they probably, this Wallace and Gromit probably built my love for animation more than Disney ever did. So I often think what would have been if I'd followed through. That was 27 years ago, and yeah, it might have had a different path. But yeah, so these are the two the two kind of reasons why I got into this creative field, into illustration, and then later into animation. Okay, I don't want to chat too long. I just wanted to take this opportunity again, while the dog's at dog school, to just put a face on my channel. Otherwise, all you see is this technical stuff that I do on the screen here. Thanks very much, as always, for supporting my channel. Thanks for dropping in, and hopefully I'll see you around here again soon. All the best. Bye.